We begin with mixed reactions trailing the release of former governors of Plateau and Taraba states from the Kuje Correctional Center. Well, their release comes 3 months after the Council of States, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, granted Joshua Dariye and Jolly Nyame presidential pardon. And their pardon was based on ill health as well as age and good conduct while in the Nigerian Custodial Center. TVC News judicial correspondent Celestina Area reports.
In May 2018, Justice Adebukola Banjoko sentenced the former governor of Taraba State, Jolly Yemen, to 14 years imprisonment after finding him guilty on 27 counts of criminal breach of trust, receipt of gratification, obtaining without due consideration and misappropriation of public funds. The judge ordered the immediate return of the forfeited funds from the treasury of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to the Taraba State government. However, in a bid to get his judgment overturned or the sentence reduced, he appealed the judgment. In November 2018, the Court of Appeal in Abuja ordered the former governor to pay a fine of 495 million naira for the alleged misappropriation of funds while he was governor of the state. The appellate court, however, reduced the 14-year jail term to a 12-year jail term. The appellate court said the law compels the court to add a fine for each of the various convictions, but the court also held that Jolly Yemen ought to have been given the capital punishment, but due to the constitutional restraint on the constitution, the court was to stick with the provisions of the law. Justice Adebukola had on 12 June 2018 also sentenced Joshua Dariye to 14 years imprisonment on charges of criminal breach of trust and criminal misappropriation. But following his appeal against the judgment, the Court of Appeal in Abuja on 16 November 2018 commuted a 14-year jail term to 10 years. Mr. Dariye had appealed his sentence, but the Supreme Court affirmed the 10-year jail term. Mr. Dariye was said to have looted 2 billion naira in public funds during his term as Plateau State Governor between 1999 and 2007. Before the former governors could complete their jail term at the Kuje Correctional Center, President Muhammadu Buhari granted both former governors presidential pardon. This action by the president stirred up different reaction, as some say it could impede the president's fight against corruption.
How incompetent they are actually. I don't know, it's uncalled for. Like somebody sentenced to prison and you all of a sudden you give him a presidential pardon.
I still believe that moral justification should be considered. I strongly believe that because these people are former governors and they are heavyweights, ordinary citizens wouldn't have been given this bill.
It is still unclear whether this presidential pardon will in any way affect Nigerians' ranking in the World Corruption Perception Index. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
And on ground to discuss this development is Lagos-based lawyer Debo Adeleke. Thank you so much for joining us at this time, Mr. Adeleke. So following the decision of the federal government, of course, through President Buhari, to grant Mr. Nyame and Dariye presidential pardon, so they've now been freed from the Kuje Correctional Center. What is your reaction to this?
Thank you very much for having me on your program. Good morning or good afternoon, fellow Nigerians. Once again, TVC, thanks for giving me the opportunity. This particular topic is a topic that's trending now in the country and is reverberating even outside the shores of Nigeria. The alleged presidential pardon of Joshua Dariye, a one-time governor of Plateau State, and Jolly Nyame, former governor of Taraba State, just been granted presidential pardon, rather for both of them to serve their sentence as pronounced by the apex court of the land, were granted presidential pardon to be set free. To say the least, it's most unfortunate. To say the least, it is most unfortunate that the president will now sit as an appellate court over the decision of a court of competent jurisdiction. More importantly, the apex court of the land, having tried these people and found them guilty of monumental fraud, embezzlement, abuse of power and position. Yet, the president did not blink a second to have a rethink. Rather, they were granted presidential pardon. It is most unfortunate. It is sad. It is very, very sad.
Mr. Dariye, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
All right. So with this done now, what, in your opinion, how will this impact on Nigeria's lingering war against corruption? Of course, you know, you're mindful of the fact that President Buhari's decision didn't come without consultation with the Council of State. So where do we go from here in terms of fighting corruption?
Yeah, you see, granted that the president of the country has that inalienable and constitutional power to grant prerogative, forgiveness to anybody that is serving a prison sentence. But that power must be used judiciously in such a way that it will be in the public interest. What the president has done now is glaringly against the the public interest. And I put up that AC, that telling me in the reception, sorry. You see, and that it shows something. It shows that the president is not interested in fighting corruption. Rather than to fight corruption, he is actually glorifying and edifying corruption in the country. And it is very sad because it has a ripple effect. Because the ripple effect of it is that the government is now saying you can steal money with both hands and legs and possibly your foreheads, and you will just get a slap on the or patting at your back for doing that. It is most unfortunate, and that it showed that the government is not sincere, especially the government that came to power claiming that it wants to fight corruption, and now edifying it and glorifying it. I was
asking Mr. Dariye, what you propose moving forward.
Excuse me?
Nations would you be bringing now moving forward, seeing as, you know, we've seen how the Constitution also enables the president to exercise discretionary powers in granting pardons of this nature. So what do you propose moving forward on a final note?
Well, what I propose is that, though he cannot reverse it again, but, what can I propose? What if I have the power? I will tell the government, I will tell the president to reverse that decision because it's not in the interest of the country. It is an insult. It's an insult to the collective corporate body of the country, corporate existence of the country. It's a slap on the state. So what I want to propose is, if I have that power, for which I know that it will not be done, is that decision is not in the interest of the masses. It's not in the interest of the nation, and it should be reversed. Otherwise, what the government has done is going to give, what the president has done is going to give a ripple effect, a negative effect. And it's a glaring case that the government, this present government, is not actually fighting corruption, rather is promoting corruption, intensifying it, and glorifying corruption in the society. It is sad.
All right, we thank you very much, Lagos-based constitutional lawyer Debo Adeleke. Many thanks for speaking with us on TVC News.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.